Hello, everybody, and welcome to Day Job. I am your host, Code Marvelous, and today we are going to be playing a little Netrunner. We're going to be playing a little bit of that Sweet Sweet Purple. We're playing a Sportsmeter Glacier deck, lightly modified. So we're up against Exile, so I am assuming that we're going to be up against some sort of either very slow build or an Apocalypse build. I think we can afford to keep this. We have the Ginger Grid, we have money, and we have a border control. So we'll keep it. Perfect. Okay, so what we're going to do is we'll do a conservative turn. We're going to hedge fund. We're going to border control HQ. There's not a lot of agendas in this deck. We have 2 in hand. So we have to trust our deck not to screw us. And then we're going to get the scarcity down. Turn 1 against a Shaper. Hope everybody's having a good Monday so far. Looks like a pawn shop deck from the playing of a cache. Hopefully they don't immediately clear this current. Alright, so we'll put the Fairchild there. We'll draw. And we'll draw once more. Because what we need to do is in order for us to be able to put the Jinja out, we need at least 1 ice to be able to put around it. Alright, so I think we can afford to put this in a new remote now, actually, and then we're just going to get money. I'm guessing that they probably have the Aesop's in their hand and they don't want to pay for it. But against a deck like this, a lot of times it's the correct choice is to just pay through, right? Alright. Fortune favors the bold. Alright, so we get a Surveyor and not much else. So let's get a Domestic Sleepers, Rashida, and the Scarcity in the Ben. We're flooding out a little bit here, and with the 1 link in play, we need at least 1 more ice, preferably a hard end the run, to be able to try to jam here. Holding on to all copies of Ash, because Ash is one of our primary win conditions. Nice getting some free draws off the Exile there. Alright, let's put the SSL in there. Let's gain a credit. Actually, let's not gain a credit. Let's put the Ash in there, and then we'll hit IPO. The idea behind a deck like this is that we're using Jinja City Grid to get ice installed clicklessly, so we're more efficient on our clicks, because we can just install stuff while we jam, right? Whereas they continue to be pretty strongly tempo negative. Even this Fairchild, with as little money as they have, is a pretty significant tax. How's everybody's testing for regional season and everything going? Pretty good? What are people playing? On runner side, I'm still strongly in the 419 camp. I think 419 may be the best runner in the game. All right, they're gonna poke. It doesn't look like they get a strike. Keep that ice off because we're going to want it for R&D. We'll score this SSL and get the money. So, you know, we spent only 3 credits functionally scoring that agenda. Ooh, super corridor. Interesting. Let's go right into the next one. Unfortunately, I think that whatever like draw and recursion engine that they're going to set up is not likely to be fast enough to deal with us, right? Especially all these runs last click. If they bump into Ikawa projects, they can't steal them. Yeah, we just have so much money here, and we're dripping for 6 a turn now. Turn 1 scarcity, you'll get them. Alright. Some very bad luck for our opponent. As this turn, we're going to score the domestic sleepers, and then next turn we will win it. So we get a concession. While we're waiting for an opponent, let's take a look at the list. Oh, never mind. So Arbican's Freedom. This can be kind of a salty matchup for us. Give him the old GLHF. I think HQ is probably the call here, because we want these violet levels, and then we'll pre-res this. We really just need to focus on sectioning off the centrals early with things that are reasonably muddy, like this Enigma is 3 credits for Black Orchestra. So if they want to hit HQ a bunch to try to farm counters, that's reasonably taxing to their money, depending on what they're leaning on as their fractor. So their freedom ability has been used. You don't go after the other NGO. right, we've got these violet level clearances, which definitely look like the art is taken directly from the Spire RPG. Give me 1 second. Alright, let's think. So, they're going to be doing some sort of nihilist play. We need some more ices, and we need to find ourselves a ginger grid. That's really the ideal here. Actually, rocking the nihilist, I respect. I respect the power. Alright. So let's draw. Let's put scarcity down, and then IPO. Let's see if they use the nihilist ability. No breakers in the bin as of yet. I think the biggest thing that we're working towards right here is just having 2 to 3 ice on here. Okay, so that's a hard purge. I'm willing to give them the money because I do not want Palangi to have any counters. So we'll purge. Because Palangi is what's going to wreck us. But I'd like to draw a border control. Border control would pair very nicely with this surveyor. Hey, Chris. This is an interesting build. The combination of VBG, Contaminate, Palangi, and Yusuf. It's neat. Now, unfortunately, there's not an agenda that they can steal in HQ. They can, of course, just trash that with normal money if they want. just gonna purge again. We're in a tough spot. We're working on my regionals deck choice for Corp. I love it. I love these contaminates coming down early. We won our first game. We're playing Jinja Glacier deck. You have to still break it. And again, they're running last click, so if they hit any of the real agendas in our deck, it doesn't actually do very much for them. We gotta get ready to jam. I do like this combo here. It's just a little expensive to set up. They had a really strong open for a deck of this type. The good news is this Surveyor is fat as shit now. 6 and 6 is nothing to sneer at. We do need a little bit more money before we can jam, though, which is problematic. They're doing a really good job of utilizing their virus counters every turn, which is nice, but it also decreases their threat level for the large remote. And they're doing it all to save one virus counter on Enigma, right? So they're going to access that, but they can't steal it. So let's put Rashida in there. Let's draw, and let's hedge fund. We need to armor up a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's not the right time for fast advance, right? So this is going to end up being strength 5. This is going to be strength 6, and this will also be strength 6. So next turn, we're going to make some pulls. Ooh, Demolisher. Interesting. Somebody is committed to my favorite bad console. Why did he add... Oh, another Trapano went down. Or they, I should say. So this is neat because these Trepanos act basically as additional virus breeding grounds that feed into what our opponent is doing, right? Okay, so we have some ice here to replace the ones that have Trepanos on them. And I think that's exactly what we're going to do. And we'll start slow rolling an Ikua in that server. Now, virus breeding ground has the requirement of at least one virus counter, so now they need to contaminate in order to get Palangi going again. A progenitor for the next one will certainly help with that, because then it'll never lose its last counter from purging. Some interesting deck design choices from our opponent. Yep, there it is. They've got like a whole big jalopy going. So we just got to start moving. Because if we don't force them to come to us... Yeah, that is a whole lot of Viri. They also have no money. Yeah, even without the gingers, we're just going to start jamming. We've got an Ash in here. At this juncture, we can probably ditch the Violet level, just because the Violet level isn't helping with our current path to power, right? Now, them having Hive Mind would lead me to believe that they have something that is based on total number of virus counters. Okay. They understand how that interaction works. So now, basically, Palangi always has a counter on it. So there's nothing we can do about it. It's a perma Palangi. So we need to start double icing things. But again, they can't steal anything. Maybe they'll trash it, the Rashida, for us. We'll go right into the next Ikua next turn, assuming we still have it. I mean, they are certainly getting maximum interaction off of the ability. I'm happy to let them draw there because they have so little actual money. I have to assume that a consume is going to come down. Oop, did a piece break off of my phone case? It sure did. I need to order a new phone case. It has seen better days. I'm a very clumsy person. I think I have an iPhone 6. I'll look that up later. I don't think I do, right? I don't have any recursion. So that's way too risky for me to ever make that play. Right? Because if I put a 5-3 in the trash, I'm giving them a free agenda. And preventing my deck from being able to do its primary thing. Alright, so now they're going to start demolishing ice. So we definitely need to get some second ices down. Or we might even still just jam. We have such a commanding money lead. The deck list isn't programmed in. I can get it in after this game. And also the command for that is just deck. But right now the one that's on the deck pull is an older list. I don't think it is worth a purge. They're going to purge themselves. It's not in the YouTube deck description either right now. Like I don't have this deck currently in Netrunner DB. It's only on JNet. So, like I said, after this game, I will program it in. I think actually a best case scenario here is they hit a Hyperloop extension. I might just... We really got our cards in a bad order here. They're super thick and hard, so let me go ahead and copy this over into Netrunner DB. Okay, they got rid of an NGO front. Let me get this into various show notes. Get it into Nightbot. One, two, three. Yeah, I don't know how they lost the click either. Alright, so the deck list is there. It's now in the show note. It's on YouTube. Okay, so they trashed the NGO front, which then drew us the SSL. So we'll jam the SSL and continue on with our lives. Like, they've got this incredibly cool engine going, but it's not actually helping them win currently. That could change, but right now they have this really expensive engine going that doesn't actually do very much for them. Right? They're certainly doing like very like legit virus business, but it's not actually helping them win. I tried to build a deck like this in the past, and people like to think of Acacia as a money card, but it's not, because the second it goes down, we just never purge, right? So it's not actually a money card, right? It's in the same way that you can't treat targeted marketing like a money card, because it's not actually a money card. Once you play it, people will play in such a way that the condition is never met for you to get the money. So it's a denial card, not a money card, right? Because as far as actual econ cards, looks like they're probably on 3x Dirty Laundry, 3x Sure Gamble, and 3x Deuces. Looks like they've got some Liberated. But their only draw is the Nihilist, which is nice. It's like an Earthrise that never ends if you're doing all of this shenanigans, right? But like, even with like the Palangi tricks that they're doing, like they just can't get in because they have no money to beat this Ash with, and they can only change things once a turn. So here's the big one. They're gonna come in. They're gonna ravage our hands, but they still can't actually steal the Ikua. Is it Acacia? Acacia? Now I have to imagine that we're going to see the Hippo get used here. The other big thing, unfortunately, with a list like this, as cool as it is to kind of watch them play this, this is a style of deck that's very clunky to use on JNet. So they access the Ikua, but they can't steal it. I wonder if they're going to imp it. Yeah, they're going to imp it, which is fine. Yeah, at this point, I don't think we're ever purging. I don't think that's ever going to be a good use of our time. They're going to use the freedom ability here. we're gonna score this. And we might actually get to use Violet level clearance soon. But yeah, I'm just never gonna let them. I'm never gonna purge, so they're never gonna get the money from Acacia, and they'll never be able to like beat this server. I will draw 2 cards here to protect the Hyperloop extension. And then, assuming it's still in our hand next turn, we're just going to jam the Hyperloop extension. They're so all in. Like, you have to appreciate the commitment and the all-inness on the viruses, right? Like, there are a lot of red numbers on this board state, and they're working hard for them. They just don't have the money, right? They don't have any money to compete with what we're doing. Like, I think. Yeah, like they're clicking for credits. That's just, it's not a good scene, right? I mean, we can even, just to be safe, we can put the second Ash in the remote with the Hyperloop extension to more or less guarantee the score. Actually, that's silly. We'll put the Ash on R&D to prevent them from scoring out that way. Now this Ikawa's in there, so if they commit the clicks and credits to get that, with everything else that they've got going on, I think we've got a pretty good chance to win in 2 turns. Yeah, I think next turn we're gonna put, assuming, like I said, we still have the agenda, we're gonna put the Architect on R&D, so they have 2 things to change on R&D. And we'll put the Hyperloop extension into the remote and plan to win in 1 turn, right? Oh, wow. Hive Mind Amakua. Very interesting. Still don't think they're gonna I still just don't think that they're gonna have enough oomph, right? So assuming they don't pull, right, then they don't pull the agenda out of HQ. So we put a second ice on R&D to slow them down a little bit. And we jam. And we'll get a credit. Because now what they can do is they can combine Friday Chip and the Virus Breeding Grounds to get Hive Mind really big to make Amakua like super huge, right? Without actually having to make the runs. Those still at the cost of clicks, basically. Very interesting. They are full Viri, like 100% all in. But unfortunately, they just haven't really had any money all game. Which means they can't compete with us. Yeah, I mean, noise would be okay. I think the biggest thing that would be really funny for noise is you have a lot more tools for a really frustrating run-based noise now. Like, Amakua and Palangi, right, and Yusuf and all these tools that are like one cost, just feel incredible for Noise and encourage him to run, right? Which is really, really nice. Like, Amakua seems like a card that was really custom tailored for Noise, but he just never really got to leverage it, right? Because it rewards you for running archives and checking archives. Noise with crowdfunding, can you imagine? I wish more people played Imp. Imp is such a great card. Like, in every game where you install Imp, Imp becomes super duper important. Okay, one click to win the game. If they put the source down, I'm gonna flip this table. They're gonna go in and get the Hagen. Okay. No cards. Alright, and that's game. More or less, unfortunately, uncontested. Their deck didn't really do anything. Like, it built a really neat engine, but it wasn't leveraging that engine in any meaningful way to win. Because they built out their full thing. Our deck didn't even do what it normally wants to do. We didn't get a Gingergred down. We didn't play Violet level clearance, right? We didn't do any of the things that our deck normally wants to do, and we still were able to win the game because the engine that they were setting up was so slow. Alright, so again, let's talk about some list choices while we're here. So I think one of the biggest things that I'm waffling on is Gatekeeper does synergize incredibly well with Jinja when it fires. But Gatekeeper at most fires once. So I was thinking about swapping out one Gatekeeper for one Eli on more consistent tags. Yeah, let's test that. It's the same cost, right? That's true. It is our one means of recursion. So let's see if we miss it, right? You know, triple Rashida's great. Yeah, that's fair. But then we're counting on a mistake, right? We're counting on a mistake to be our recursion. I don't know how I feel about that. Yeah, I'm really enjoying a lot of the purple that's floating around right now. I think there's a lot of really neat Neat opportunities. And there's just a lot. It's really interesting that we now live in a world where one of the factions that best leverages Surveyor is HB. Okay, so we've got Ice, we've got money cards, and we've got an Ash. I think we have to keep this. We'll give him the GLHF. I wonder if we're going to be against the wine deck. Fortunately, I think we just got to jam out the Rashida, right? We got to get through our deck. Okay. Okay. So I think we can outspeed this deck if they're playing what I think they're playing. Let's put this on R&D, I guess, for now. Let's put this in the remote. And let's IPO. Let's play it cool. Like we got no agendas, right? Play cool. And then... they don't have a lot of money, so they should click for credits here. I wonder. Oh, they're gonna stim hack through. So one of their stim hacks, one of the critical setup pieces of their deck has fire to no effect. Unfortunately, we can't seem to get ice. Now they should go in and get this Ash, because this Ash... That Ash is pretty crucial. Okay, so we come now at last to the great battle of our time. We're gonna fire this Violet level clearance, and we're gonna hope that it comes through for us. Okay, at least we got one piece of ice. All right, so they're getting their whole big jam going. I don't think we're gonna need scarcity. Let's put this on R&D. Let's res it, and then let's advance, and score. This domestic sleepers and whiff. Like the great whiffing monsters that we are. They're not punishing us for these whiffs. It's really quite incredible. I know I've said this in the past, but people get really super focused on making their Shaper decks do what they want their Shaper decks to do, and like not enough on the click management that actually will win them the game, right? Because now we got big drips going. We're gonna just keep piling ice on there. Ooh, a Maw, that's exciting. Let's draw. Let's put an ice on HQ. And let's put Rashida in server 1. Losing that Ikawa to the Maw trigger feels very, very bad, but it is what it is. Alright, so this is what I'm talking about. Let's put a border control on server 1. Let's put an Enigma on R&D. And let's put an Architect on R&D. Let's get the 3 from SSL. And then let's score Hyperloop extension off the table. And get the money. Hey, Lori, what's up? Ooh, a Snecnor beta. I kind of hope they actually hit here instead of whiffing over and over again, because then the Maw's gonna hurt us a lot more. Alright, let's draw. Let's put that in there. And then let's put this on HQ. Yeah, I'm in the same boat, Lori. I'm prepping for regionals right now. So let's eat up some of that hard-earned cash. Oof. All right. We just need to hope we don't lose both of these SSLs, but it looks like they're concerned about setup. Okay, so there's now 6 points in the bin. That's pretty bad for us. Yeah, I mean, I guess. I think now I made a mistake, but it is what it is. Let's see if they run back. Balder, stop clawing me. Go. Our best case scenario now is that they poke around and then check Archive's last click, right? Because we don't know if they're on like Freedom Through Equality or something. That would be our worst case scenario, would be a Freedom Through Equality play into a run on Archives. This is such a wild big rig that they've made. So I don't think we can win this now. Yeah, I guess getting rid of the domestic sleepers was definitely wrong. How many ashes are in the bin? 2. So the big problem is now, if they check archives at all, we lose. Yeah, that's gonna be game.
Dad,
Yep.
I have to go to the grocery store. Bye.
Bye, sweetheart.
I love you.
Love you too, sweetheart. How are you getting so snuffly?
Because of all the snow on my nose.
Oh, I see.
Here, you go.
Yep, so we lost. I misplayed pretty hard. Because I don't. We basically got to draw immediately into another 5-3 in order to win. Oh, nope, we lose. Alright, so I needed to ice up HQ there. Or archives there. And stop that sneak door. That sneak door, even though they didn't hit agendas on those runs, cost us the game. See you, Laurie. Now let's just go ahead and close off those centrals early. Slow them down a wee bit. Let's get an ice. Let's get an ice out, and then get the scarcity down. Need to click up for some money. Yep, so they're going to come in here. We're going to be fighting an uphill battle early on these Amakua counters, which is fine. We're on a quest for 7 credits. That'll help. We'll res it in case they strike here. Oh yeah, I love when you spend your money. Now if they come in for the doof, then they're only going to get 2 credits because we'll res Enigma. Put a surveyor on there, and then let's put another surveyor on HQ, and then we're gonna get ready to purge. Right, border. So they're gonna have 2 credits to steal. So not a huge return on investment there for them. We're just in bad shape money-wise early here. Because what we really need is a breathing room to be able to purge. That'll help. Right, Boulder? We don't want them getting into our servers. No, we do not. Big yawns. Not really accomplishing very much on either side here. So that's 2 out of 3 diversions of funds. So I get this weird feeling that pretty soon we're going to be able to... Oh, that's cute. They're on Maw. Everybody's on Maw. We'll take the credits. It'll help us get out of money hell. And then, These maw triggers, man. People coming for our stuff. They have to trash that, right? No, they're not going to trash the Ginger Grid. Oh, they're going to put down Miss Bones and then go back in. That's very cute. They seem to be very strongly teched for us. Please, sir, I just want to purge. And we'll get our free installs. Thanks for stealing. You're tearing up my heart. These maws have got to stop though, right? Like, maw sucks so bad to deal with. We need a purge. We've somewhat stabilized now. The Maw is the biggest enemy of our deck because we hold our 5/3s. For a decent amount of time, right? So let's just jam the Ikua. Let's put an Ash in there with it. We're going to have to over-advance it. And then, additionally, we're going to put an Eli on R&D. Actually, I don't even think we necessarily need to... Oh no, that's not right. We're gonna get rid of that. I don't even think we need to over-advance because we have enough ice on centrals now. Probably not going to need this Rashida. Let's put this on R&D. Let's put this in the remote and just get a buck. We haven't seen any IPOs yet, and we still have another hedge fund in the bin or in the deck somewhere. Ideally, I'd like to grab an IPO here. I mean, this alone is strength 8. They're digging hard. I was going to say that's what they're looking for. They're looking for the Angola to be able to get back into HQ. We're going to jam slam and hope for the domestic sleepers to save us. We're going to get rid of the scarcity because we're well past that mattering. Hey, Rotage, what's up? We do not have a lot of cards left in our deck, though. And that is terrifying to me. Yeah, I'm on Apocalypse 419 and Purple Glacier. So I think next turn, assuming we still have it, we're going to install Advance, but not score the domestic sleepers to see if we can pull them through the server. And if they don't go for it, then we're ready to score it and put the extra point on it in a single turn. I love that they're running R&D here, which is going to give us the opportunity to get more ice resed. So they're clicking through to break Eli. They're going to have to spend effectively 2 to break Bugalter. So best case scenario here is that they whiff, of course. The next best scenario is that it's an Ikawa and it cripples their economy to steal it. It's a Maw trigger, so it wasn't anything. So I'll res this here. They've already used Bugalter, so we might get the fairy usage here. We'll let them break here. The only thing in the bin is an Ikawa that they can't steal. So you can have that. Access. Enjoy it. We're glad you came. So let's stick to the original game plan. We're going to install advance the domestic sleepers. We're going to bluff it as like an NGO. They know that there's a 5/3 in there for them, but they do not have the money to run multiple centrals. I guess I should have just scored it, right? Because then they would have just bounced something on the... Yeah, that wasn't the right choice. Yeah, I should have just scored it out there. Hopefully that won't be the mistake that costs us the game. They don't really have any money to speak of. A lot of these big tools are getting used up here, which makes me happy. Well, now we just need money. The way we win this game is by money. Alright, next turn we jam. We're gonna prioritize probably Cider Adaptive. Probably Cider and Border Control is the most taxing stuff we've got. All three sure gambles in the bin. We haven't seen anything like a stim hack. Okay, so do we just jam? Yeah, I think we just jam. I know. I should have just scored the domestic sleepers. At least we're continue to make money while this stuff is going on. If I had just scored the domestic sleeper, this game would already be over. I'm aware. Because now we need a win before they can get the one out of the trash. I deserve it. All right, let's see what happens. If I screwed it up, then I screwed it up. They made this game much harder than it needed to be. Mistakes were made. Yeah. Probably the Fairchild, right? Because they also need the credits to be able to steal Ikola. That's the big ticket. Any run that they end on this server where they don't have the credits to steal it, then we can just let them in. So now they have to try to think if they...
A new follower.
Oh, thanks, Alabama Ford, for the follow. Going for HQ. Interesting. So now we just win, I think. Oh, I guess they're hoping that we have something in hand so that they can bounce the agenda back because they know they couldn't get archives. That's smart. With the knowledge that they have, that makes sense. No, I think their other big play is if they can, like, stim hack. Okay, they don't have a stim hack. Okay. We have one card remaining. Good game. Well played. That was way closer than it needed to be. All right. Feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty good. Is this the right agenda density? Should I get rid of the domestic sleepers and maybe get like a preemptive and another scarcity in there? What do we think? Let's talk about it. So, if we turn this into an all real agendas agenda suite, that would give us room for a scarcity of resources and a preemptive. Sleepers are great because they are the 7th point for us, but never for our opponent, right? Whereas the Hyperloop extensions are really nice, like little tempo bubbles, because they're like an IPO that happens on my opponent's turn. It's a tough call. Because what I've seen other people doing is doing the real 5-3 with the domestic sleepers. Right, but if we're gonna do the sleepers, we still need the last real agendas, right? We have to fill out our agenda suite. So does that mean we get another 5-3? Or do we get something like a corporate sales team? Voting machine initiative. Blech! I mean, I'm always kind of in favor of things that give us money, right? Well, let's give it a go. Let's give it a go and let's see what happens, right? I mean, turntable, like, I guess if we see a turntable, we just, like, score whatever domestic sleepers we have in our hands immediately, right? Let's fire it up. I mean, turntable is always gonna stink for us, right? Up against friend of the show, Simon, playing as... So Enigma for HQ, Surveyor for R&D, and Hedge Fund. Yeah, I mean, this is what we're doing. We're refining. This is just like before. We're refining decks for my tournament. Masterwork going down. Okay, so let's draw. Let's draw once more. And let's put out an ice in a new remote. Not this coming weekend, but the following. I once had somebody give me a GFI to take away my Atlas with a counter, which I think was the right play on their part, but it still felt incredible, right? I wonder if they'll use the flip switch here to save themselves a click. Alright, ice is rezzed, feels good. Let's install advance. This NGO front, let's res it because of the cards that criminals play. These flip switches, So we're certainly not taking... Our gatekeepers are significantly less impactful here, right? Let's draw once. Let's put Rashida in the remote, and then let's IPO. We need more ice. We need more go juice, right? Then let's res Rashida. This is not gonna stink for them nearly as well as I would like. Rashid is such a good card. Our one saving grace here is that the Simon does not currently have access to like an Almacour or anything that makes these early runs more valuable. So let's start building out the remote. We're going to put the Ash in there. We're going to put a Fairchild, and we're going to hedge. The next turn, we may try to jam out a bank jobble. So these flip switches are getting used early. That feels pretty good. We're going to install advance, an NGO front in the server the next turn. Ooh, are you going to click through? Oh, that feels so good. Gonna take the bank job money instead, I would imagine. Very cute. Working hard for the money. So hard for the money. If we can... Now these flip switches also basically are one-time nullifications for a subroutine on flip switch. Good job, deck. You did it. Things are wild out here. Probably gonna go get Corroder. Doof coming down. Not surprising. Let me bring it up for you. Alright, deck. Yeah, you did it, deck. You did it. We may be forced to just try to jam the SSL next turn. Loving these 3 Gingers going, right? Yeah, things can get a little dicey if you're up against Geist with Hagen, because things can get wild. Let's toss some money cards back in. Let's put the NGOs back in. And probably a hedge fund. Because right now everything is tax for our opponent. Oh yeah, you're right. I should have res the Ash. Yeah, that can't be helped. Kind of the optimal viewing is on Twitch. YouTube, since I'm a small creator, severely stifles my speeds for the purposes of streaming. So I don't pull in like enough views on my big videos. I'm gonna ditch this SSL because if he steals it, then we start getting more money. Because the playback is actually faster on Twitch. Because now we can start jam slamming. Especially since I knew that it was highly likely that he was going to do that. Let's put the border control actually on HQ. Let's res and pop this. And then let's put the other SSL in there. Yeah, it's really unfortunate, but since I'm a smaller creator, they do not give me like good latency to chat on YouTube. What is he doing? He must have multiple crowdfundings in his hand. So now we're going to have 2 SSLs ticking down. Our ice is huge on this remote with an Ash protecting it. We're going to go right into the Ikawa next turn, and then if we manage to score that, then the following turn we click for 3 and win. Yeah, let's put the cider on there for good measure. Server 1. That cider looms large against a criminal rig, currently at 7 strength. And probably Amina. Yeah, I was going to say Amina is probably coming out here. That's such a big install on such a mission critical turn. One turn to midnight. And also, since I do limited monetization, they also do not prioritize me there. Okay. That's a big dig going there. There's not a ton for him to be able to steal, though. So 1's a whiff, 2's a whiff, 3's a whiff. So that's going to be game most likely. All right. Let's go again. Practicing that purple drank, baby. I love playing purple. I know it's just money runner, but it feels nice, right? It feels like the old days. The good old days. Here's my new jam. Some hot Spags tech. Yeah, Rain, it's not great. Let me Google this problem real quick while we're waiting for an opponent. All right, let me go to my dashboard. See if I've been put in streamer jail recently.
A new follower.
Yeah, I'll putz around with it and see if I can fix it. Alright, so I think one of the biggest things to think about when you're picking a Corp deck for a big tournament is what decks are really strong and what decks are so strong that everyone is going to be practicing that matchup and teching for that matchup, right? So, like, if you look at what happened at Euros, a lot of people were on Argus, right? Now, Argus is always going to be pretty good. But that having been said, if you don't feel like you're a super strong pilot of that deck, this is a bad hand. If you don't... Well, this is an even worse hand. If you don't feel like you're a super strong pilot for that, against that style of deck, playing that as your corp is going to be pretty miserable, right? This is a bad opener. We're probably just going to get blown out. Yep. There's 6 points right out of the gate. We need to put this Ash on HQ, actually. If we lose, we lose. Oh, I guess that doesn't really matter, does it? Let's put that on HQ. We basically need to slow this deck down to a crawl and then just slow roll while they have no money. Good job, deck. Because we need to get a purge. Purging is basically the only way we win here. As far as first Stargates go, that one's very good for us. We still have the preemptive. I guess I probably should have. No, I need to save it. Let's purge. Let's get rid of one of these ashes. Hey, Janktivist. Next turn, we're going to jam. We are working hard out here. I'm surprised the degree to which we were able to stabilize. But we can lose at basically any time here. Got rid of the Jinja. We're out here. We're working hard. They have money, but not a lot of ability to break. Each one of these runs costs them 8 now. We'll take the one bad pug. We'll go advance, advance, and trash resource. So we get half a refund there. Here the Ash can... it's going to need to be the Cider Adaptive Barrier. Never give up. Never surrender. No, we need to hang out. Hang on to all ice that we have. So we're on the board with Drip. We have a preemptive in hand. I might still try to get the scarcity down, but I think the better play is probably just jamming right into the Ikua. These border controls are doing work. 50 card deck. I'm pretty sure the deck only runs one special order. Let's just score this out. Treat it as a credit neutral 1-point turn. Because we need a little bit more to drip down to be able to rush the Ikawa. So do we jam here? Or do we take one more turn? I think we need one more turn's worth of money. Let's draw. Let's put the Surveyor on there for free and just get some credits. Because that's going to be a 10 strength Surveyor now. We gotta try to jam this Ikawa, right? This hurts really badly for them because they're basically throwing away any chance of being able to target the remote. So there is an Ikawa in there. Let's go ahead and put the Eli on archives. Then from the trash, let's install an Ash on archives. And did we may, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but we may have just clawed back from the jaws of defeat. Losing 6 agenda points to a legwork on turn 1. You mean, vulnerability audit? That architect fire, baby. Okay. Good game, well played. From the jaws of defeat. We're not playing Biotic, though. That's a very different deck. I could see playing Vulnerability Audit in like an Asa deck, right? I think it could be a natural fit there. I really like this list. And I think because of people moving back to bypass and like apocalypse effects, I think the Asa and Acme single ice, the stock of those strategies has gone down. And if we find that Apocalypse is a serious problem, then we will cut one border control and the scarcities and turn them into Chrysium grids. Because our entire deck is built around our ice staying on the board. Alright, let's talk about this agenda suite, because I really do feel like I'd rather have like a corporate sales team. Because corporate sales team is also like drip money. I think one of the most interesting things about what I've noticed playing Glacier again is that people don't check your hand nearly as often as they should. Like in the one game that we lost, it was because the person was checking our hand as aggressively as they should have with Sneak Door and Maw. And they weren't hitting the agendas, but the other cards, the cards they were mawing out of hand, were the agendas. So I think it's very interesting that people don't check HQ a lot of times against Glacier. All right. Scarcity seems pretty good, but not incredible. When we get a turn one against a Shaper, it feels great, right? Alright, so we're up against this monstrosity again. Let's mulligan for more ice. Let's fire up the game. And then we'll just armor up. We don't have anything terrible to lose here, so we'll wait until the ice has it has impact. I care less about depriving him draws than our setup capital, right? This early I will pay. Let's gain a bunch of money. Digging hard for those mining accidents early. Yeah, I mean, Credit Kiting is such a ridiculous card if you're in Liza and you just don't care, because you just don't have to play around it at all, right? Alright, so we're going to put this Fairchild on R&D, but it's mostly going to be just to boost the strength of Surveyor, so Surveyor is actually impactful. So now I will res this to deprive them of the money from Hot Pursuit. Hot Pursuit. It's very close to the stoppable force list. I think I'd maybe change 2 cards off of it. A lot of times when I'm hunting for a regionals deck or something that I'm taking to a highly competitive event, I take something that somebody else has done well with, if I don't have like a strong idea myself. And I I build my deck from seasoning that deck to my tastes. I guess I'll just get this out of my hand, and it makes the whatchamacallits, the rogue tradings more expensive. So we can't stop any of this. At least this Hagen is super duper expensive, right? Is it weird that I kind of hope that they hit the SSL? Is that weird? We're very short on capital, huh? Come on in. We need the money more than we need anything else. Alright, alright, alright. Gotta slow down this gravy train a little bit. Yeah, I mean, this is what this Liza deck does, right? It's just trying to run roughshod over people before they can deal with what's going on. If we can just get our ice rest, right, then the deck kind of slows to a crawl. But we need to get to that point. I think we're actually in worse shape this game than we were in the other game, because those were the only the ones that they stole early were the only ones that we saw for a long time, whereas now we're flooding out with over half the agenda suite in our hands. So I think we're probably pretty strongly cooked here. And this is, you know, like this is a pretty compelling reason to play Argus, right? Because Argus just has the ability to just nuke this deck from orbit. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we have a shot this game. We didn't get the ability to build a remote. Yeah, I think we're pretty cooked. Good game. So let's think about how we win that matchup with the deck that we have. We don't have a lot of ice that's easy to res early. So what's our play against a Liza deck like that? Lack of Jinju is brutal, but that comes up more often than you think, right? You have to be ready to deal with that occurrence. I think with that deck floating around in Argus builds, you go back to having 3 high-profile targets instead of 2 because you need to find it early, right? Yeah, you have to like be super bold and like just try to like blitz out. Let's do one with my runner deck. VLC is really great, but it's a very optimistic card, right? VLC feels very much like a accelerated beta test in that way. Speaking of which, where like you're swinging for the mountains. This is okay-ish. I don't know what they're going to be doing, but anything's possible now. Right, that's the impression that I often get playing it. Let's run archives twice. Get some ice breaking power. I don't want to run R&D here because I don't want to hit an ambush. I have no idea. Like with this type of build, they could literally be playing anything. This ability on Hyobu Institute is so wild. I have no idea what they're doing, right? And I can't turn on always show me the cards because they could be on psychic fields. Envelope. Alright, so let's draw. Let's put down bankroll and let's run archives a couple times because we're clicking for credits. And we're clicking for Amakua counters. Alright, let's draw. Let's Blueberry Diesel. Oh, yeah, that pad tap feels pretty nice. Let's put down that pad tap. Oh, no, I shouldn't do that. Undo click. Let's put it down after. Ooh, why did it cost me 4? Should only cost me 2. We don't need the falsified credentials, I don't think. Right now we're just really out here hunting for a copy of the card that makes our deck go, Apocalypse. Because we're at the strength now where we can break most anything. So the Purge is going to be coming down from on high pretty soon here. But that's just fine. So next turn we'll go for launch if they don't Purge. So let's just click for some credits and then we're going to get rid of a single spearfishing. There's the Purge. Let's say agenda. Let's get some credits. So we know that this one here is an envelope. I don't want to get Eater down this early. I wonder what this ice on archives is. What do you all think? I guess I just gotta ditch the extra Amakua, right? I want them to commit a little bit more to that remote. Perfect. Perfect. Alright, so let's Spearfish archives. Let's Inside Job HQ. Show me a snare. Then let's just run this the normal way because we can now afford to break it. We are coming in hot. No res. Give him a second. Yeet everything into the bin. Playing an archive to save an agenda, I'll take it. Merlin. That's really expensive. These our anti-ice embezzles are going to be super duper good for them. Let's see everything that got yeeted into the bin. Oof, 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 oof. Big oofs. A lot of big fancy ice that they wanted to get a lot of mileage out of. Okay, yeah, let's Inside Job that server. I think this is going to be like a viral weaponization, or maybe a Nisei. Thanks. And now we've got the DDoS. The DDoS helps us land the second one, and we have the embezzle to hit the ice that we know that they're holding. So this is all good. Everything about this draw here is good. Show me Psychic Field, baby! Okay, let's get some money. Let's Spearfish into that server. Get that too. Thanks very much. And we'll put the bankroll at the bottom. I think the biggest thing about playing APOC is that it's like a tilted can, right? Like, basically, anybody who plays it is immediately getting tilted by what's happening. I kind of don't want to put down any of these cards. Guess we can wait and see what happens. I don't think that that's going to be like a Philotic. I could be wrong. This DDoS is just like a nice looming threat, so if they want to try to score, they have to commit additional ice to the remote, which then makes the centrals weaker. In fact, with us already having Eater in our hand, what might be the better play here is for me to pop DDoS and diversion of funds, pop Embezzle, get rid of ice, and then let's just hit R&D. Get that crowdfunding back down. I mean, but that doesn't actually do anything. We're not recurring any cards in this deck. So let's drop Eater. Come on. Oh, right, there's nothing in there. Crisium Grid. Marcus Batty. Exciting. We'll hold on to this other crowdfunding for now. Let's poke around. This way we can install both of them next turn. We'll definitely run HQ first. Ooh, yeah, show me. I'd love to see it. Let's hit HQ. Right out of the gate. Now's your chance. I think the call is 1. So good at Netrunner. All right, let's run R&D. We'll trash that. No Breach Dome. And we will put all your crap in the Abyss and put crowdfunding back. And now we know that there is a Future Perfect in the bin. They're going to archive for the Future Perfect out of the trash. put this down. Let's run archives. Future Perfect's not still in there. Not that I was necessarily expecting that it would be. But there's such a strong ICE commitment now to HQ and to this remote that I can't imagine them recovering. And unfortunately also, since we are on Apocalypse, we're like customed tuned to demolish their game plan because they're not able to hold ICE in their hand the way that they would want to. So let's hit R&D. Let's hit R&D again. And that's game. That's tough. That's a hard break for them. Alright, let's do one more with the runner deck. And then I gotta go. I'm gonna go hang out with Cassiopeia. But yeah, so what do we think? These are, at current juncture, what I'm thinking about playing for regionals. I don't feel terrible, you know? I will tell you one thing. People do not like playing against Apocalypse Shaper. Or Apocalypse decks in general, I should say. I'm also excited to be playing a deck that actually meaningfully leverages Blueberry Diesel, because you need to filter for the exact tool that you need right now. This feels fine. Ish. That's better. We need the gamble to be able to compete early. Argus is a weird matchup because you can end up hitting agendas while trying to land the Apocalypse, which can then become a very serious problem. So there's a Rashida. There's an ice gonna go in front of it. Well, at the very least, let's go ahead and say that we know what that is, because they were nice. Alright, we're not going to need this Fem right now. What we need most is we need the Amakua and the Bankroll, and of course we need Apocalypse itself. Right? Our way of dealing with Prysex is not ever actually encountering them, because we destroy the remote rather than accessing from it, right? So that's got an advancement on it. That tells me that that's an agenda. So let's go ahead and inside job that. I was wrong. Alright, let's just get some extra invisible money so that we're more ready to clear tags. One of the most attractive things about Bankroll is the money can't be... Okay, well, we don't need Doof right now. We do need a Blueberry Diesel. I think that is an asset. Oh no, it's a hostile. Okay. So I'm glad that pad tap's down. Alright. I'm dawdling here. Let's do our primary win condition and start getting Amakua counters. Alright, so we're waiting for a DDoS now, which is fine. Guess we have to wonder what ice is where. They play Hortums, they play Mausoluses, they play Data Ravens, right? 4 and 5 are like the magic numbers. We're already well above border control range, right? We still have yet to find Apocalypse, which is also pretty problematic. They have a lot of money, but their money is not necessarily doing them a whole fuckload right now. Let's draw. That's what we needed. We needed more bypass, right? So I think we're going to wait one turn, and we're going to wait until something else goes into that remote. Probably Embezzle's too good to get rid of, right? Do we get rid of the Eater here? I think it does have to be the Embezzle. We have two more of them. This is a back foot match. I don't think I played the opening of this very strongly. Alright. It's go time. Let's hit HQ. I know I'm gonna miss the Embezzle. High HPT is in there. Well, that stinks, doesn't it? It's wild out here, but we got there. We reset the clock. We got another one of the atlases, and they do not play a lot of ice, right? So we need to try to find... Perfect. I was going to say, we need to try to find a diversion of funds, because that balances the scales and gives us the ability to run and check servers. Next thing we need is the embezzle. Alright. We're not going to get killed by a neural. And if we do, they earned it. We still haven't seen the DDoS. Alright, let's draw. Let's draw again. Let's draw. Let's draw. We just need a more padded hand, right? To be able to check stuff. After, I'm telling you, after the APOC, like, people just go immediately on tilt, right? Let's check archives. So nothing in there. Let's draw. Let's hit R&D. Data Raven, that's going to be pretty crap for us. There's the Raven. I wonder if they'll show it to us. How much of their kill combo did they ditch? A fair bit. So there might just be... Let's put this down. Let's check archives. Let's draw again. Okay, so now they can win via Audacity, and that's a bit of a problem. Let's run HQ. Let's run R&D. We may have just lost right there. Nope, they're still drawing for it. They're looking for the Audacity. What we desperately need an embezzle, right? Let's obviously not archives. So there's the Audacity. So I guess we have to Spearfish HQ. Why do they have 6 cards? Yeah, I mean, we're gonna lose now. I fucked it up. I think we had the game strongly in hand there, and I threw the game into the toilet. We did miss the embezzle. The embezzle probably would have single-handedly won us the game. But yeah, this is tough because a lot of times we end up pitching stuff early as we're drawing for the things we need to actually land the APOC. But yeah, I think this was pretty good. This is where I'm at right now. If you have suggestions or feedback, please leave it. If you'd like to support the channel, the best way to do that is by subscribing on Twitch. If you have Amazon Prime, it is of no charge to you. And there's also a link in the show notes on YouTube. Any support deeply helps me continue doing what I've been doing for the last couple months, which is doing these longer daily streams. So your support is very much so appreciated. And until I see all of you wonderful Netrunner humans again, always be running.